He's catching up to some of the things that are new, and he's working at it.
Looks like y'all are experimenting with the different things Elijah Moore can do offensively.
Yeah, I think that's what, honestly, the offseason and minicamp are for. You got to put things in the laboratory, see what they look like. So we're trying to emphasize certain things where we just need more. We need extra reps, really, is what we're trying to do. So make sure that we're intentional about what we rep so that we can see what we like, see what works for our players. Because ultimately, like you mentioned, Jake, each one of these players, Elijah in this case, we got to find out what he does best.
Kevin, I know this probably isn't the ideal situation to evaluate defensive linemen yet, but what have you seen out of Obo?
Yeah, and you're 100% correct on that, Scott. It's so hard, you want to say, hey, this guy's having a good camp. It's so hard in the rules, how they're written, for the guys in the trenches that their game is predicated on physicality, and you can't do that. So Obo in particular, though, been very impressed with him in our building. Works really hard, displays some leadership traits. As you know, we've played him, so I know what he's all about. He's really a relentless pass rusher, plays hard, plays with power, plays with speed. So excited about Obo, but right now I think he's doing a nice job with what we're asking him to do.
How do you when you make the move for then Zadarius after you sign him? Like, does there need to be a conversation? Because I'm thinking he came here thinking he was going to be a starter, and now his role might be different.
Yeah, I think for all of our players, you have a lot of those conversations with your guys throughout the offseason as things change. But we also know that our jobs, every single one of us, coaches, players, we have to do our job, whatever that job is, whatever our role is, whatever role we earn, we have to do that job to the best of our ability.
In reference to all the gambling act violations that have occurred, the Browns re-up their teaching program, the do's and don'ts?
Yes, often. Yeah, because it's we take it really seriously, Tony. We've talked, you could ask the players, we've talked a lot about it throughout this offseason, just because you're teaching off of things that are happening around our game and happening with other teams, and we don't want to lose a guy for any reason. We don't want them to get injured. We don't want to lose a guy for breaking a rule of any sort. So you have to educate them on the rules, because there is some things that are new, as you know, with sports gambling. So part of my job and our job with this organization is to educate our players. We're going to spend more time on it. We talked about it yesterday. We're going to spend more time on it this afternoon as well.
Hey, Ken, why was Payton Winfrey not on the field yesterday or today?
Yeah, he's working inside, but not going to get into all the specifics.
But is he healthy?
Yes.
How much would you say Deshaun Watson has improved? We're talking to Deshaun today, so how much has he improved over maybe this time last year? How's he looking out there?
Yeah, I think you'd have to ask him, Mary Kay, for a specific answer to that. He's doing everything we're asking him to do, and like I mentioned earlier, we're trying some different things. Like even in that last period, we made an adjustment right before the play. Hey, said have the running back do this instead of what we had previously talked about. So it's all about trying to see what our guys can handle, see what our guys are good at, quarterback included, right? Want to see what Deshaun is comfortable with, but he's doing a really nice job.
I know in, again, it's 7-on-7 and stuff like that, but just in terms of sharpness, going to the right place with the ball.
Yeah, it's so important. Yeah, and to your point, 7-on-7, I mean, I beat the quarterbacks up on your eyes and your feet in those drills, and he's working really hard. I think he's working really hard in the meeting room, making sure that he's got a really good grasp of what we're doing, and then the ability to make throws, the ability to be on time, go through a progression, and make accurate throws to our guys. So he holds himself to a high standard, and I think he's practicing really well.
Kevin, body language with Deshaun this year compared to last year, it seems like a lot more demonstrative, a lot more. It seems like vocal. I mean, are you just noticing a difference in there that maybe that comes with a certain comfort level that this is his team now fully?
Yeah. Again, I don't want to go backwards, but I'll just tell you where he is. He's working really hard. He's got a good. Like any of us, 1 year into it, has a better grasp of all things. So we just got to continue to stack days and get better every day.
What have you seen from David Njoku to the offseason? He had a couple nice catches out there today, but just the evolution of his game and where you think he's at.
Yeah, I think, like we've talked about a lot with Dave, when he was healthy last year, he was rolling. He was making plays in the pass game, was excellent in the run game. So we know what he's capable of. I still think there's even more that we can get from Dave, and Dave can get from himself. And I think he puts himself in great position to do that with how he takes care of his body, practices really hard. So excited about Dave.
Kevin, a couple more. Are you comfortable with the backup offensive tackle situation right now? You're a veteran, although you got guys that maybe could swing over there, I guess.
Yeah, I think with, as you know, Tony, with our roster, we continue to, Andrew and crew look at every position to try and improve throughout the season. I really like the guys we have, both the starters and the backups at that position. They're working really hard. I think Coach Callahan and Coach Peters and Coach DeCoster, they're spending countless hours in that meeting room out here on the field to develop young players. So we're working really hard at it right now.
So after tomorrow, the next time your whole team will be on the field together for practices at the Greenbrier, right?
Correct.
So what do you hope are the main benefits that you guys get out of going out?
Yeah, I think the Greenbrier will be an opportunity for us to get away, get away from town and get under the same roof together and hopefully there's no cell phone service, that type of thing. So it just allows you to just be around your team and really focus on the work. I mean, we're down there, I think, for 8 nights. And it, as we've talked about with that Hall of Fame game, really gives us an opportunity to lengthen our runway into the season. So we're going to make each one of those days count. But excited to just be down there together. And then we'll get back up here and have plenty more work to do and have an opportunity to get in front of our fans.
So do you think, like, what you're saying is you'll
One more
be
here.
under the same roof and everything? Like, you would be here, but do you think, like, taking it there
Exactly,
is
yeah.
more conducive to bonding?
It can be. It can be. Yeah, I think it's never, if you have the opportunity, and luckily and fortunately we have ownership that are so supportive of this, but if you have the opportunity to get your team away and really focus on football and kind of eliminate distractions, be it a crying kid at 2 a.m, get everybody in one spot, I think it's beneficial to your team.
Last one, then Nick Chubb.
I don't know if anybody's got crying kids, but
What do you want Deshaun Watson to do or accomplish when you send him forth tomorrow?
Yeah.
Between now and when he shows up at the Greenbrier?
yeah, he has a plan. We've talked about it. He'll do a couple things, personally, but then he'll have the guys working out in a couple different spots. They'll stay sharp. So we'll talk about it tomorrow with the team, but that break is really important for a bunch of different reasons. Number one, to just get away, take that final breather, because as you know, it's a long season. So to get that final breather away from this, but then also to keep yourself in great shape. I think those weeks away are an opportunity for our players to really get ready for the grind. I think they've done a nice job with this offseason while they're here, and then when they're away, it's time to get your bodies ready for the grind.
Can I squeeze one more?
Sure you can, Jeff.
Does the offensive line, do they have to hold blocks longer, or how much different is it for them blocking for Deshaun than it was for?
Yeah, that's something we've talked about. I mean, it was something certainly we saw last season. Deshaun has the ability to extend plays, and when those times come up, it's really incumbent on all 10 other guys out there to stay alive, and that may be the receivers getting open. That's got to be the offensive line when they're blocking. The play's never over until that whistle blows, and Deshaun does have that unique ability that he's shown his whole life to extend plays. All right?
Thanks,
I can't. Sorry. See you guys.
What can I help you with?
So how's the transition been to, now you've been here for a couple of months?
It's been pretty good so far. Got to know my new teammates, got learning my new teammates and stuff, learning their defense and building a little bit of chemistry out here on the field so far.
What was your reaction when Za'Darius became your teammate again?
Super excited. Used to joke about I'd be joking with him. I'm like, he was gonna miss me that much. He had to come follow me out here. So super excited to have Z back out here with me.
And how do you feel about him kind of joining you occasionally on some of those inside snaps so far these 2 days?
It's gonna be super exciting, I guess, because it's some of the similar stuff we ran last year in Minnesota together, with me and him running games and stuff together, and the chemistry's already there between me and him.
Dalvin, I know it was a few weeks ago now, but how did you hear about the trade? Kind of take me through where you were and how you first heard the news and everything.
You always hear rumors and stuff, and I hope it's a real rumor with this one. I remember I was at home on my computer, and somebody texted me, like, we got Za'Darius. and like I was just super excited. It was like, yeah, we're gonna make some crazy stuff happen with this front up front.
And then just knowing like everything he went through last year with the injury, like how much do you think that he talked about it, but like as somebody who knows him and watched him play, how much do you think that hindered him down the stretch of the season?
I felt like Z's a super tough person, and he just kept fighting and just kept playing some great football throughout the whole season. And as long as he stays Z, I feel like he'll be fine no matter what.
You guys are out there and you are in the defensive line, the drills, you guys are competing and you're getting a little chippy out there and competitive. What can that do for you as you guys are working to build that chemistry and really development for the younger guys too?
I feel like if you don't have that, you're not going to build the chemistry all along. But with the younger guys, we just bring them in as little brothers and stuff and just teach them the ropes. And we all just keep working that chemistry and just having fun out here is the biggest thing. So as long as we're having fun together, sweating together, and grinding together, the chemistry is going to come along great.
Do you see people responding to that with maybe extra motivation when they win one of the matchups?
Oh yeah, most definitely. When you win a matchup, everybody get to talking junk and everything, and you want to re-challenge somebody, and then just it keeps going back and forth, and I feel like it makes you better as a player too because you're going your hardest every single rep.
Speaking of practice, Dalvin, how tough is it to not have pads on? Like Coach talked about, you got to fight the contact, and he mentioned the offense and defensive line, how hard it is for you guys. So as a player, how tough is it?
It's super tough up front because everything we do is all about physicality, and up front it's just like you got to slow it down a lot and just focus on your steps and your hands and the small details, but you don't have as much time to focus on in the season when you get pads on.
Obviously, after tomorrow, you guys break, but you guys will be going down to the Greenbrier. As a veteran player, what does that mean to get away from here to kind of come together as a team and take that trip in training camp? Like, how beneficial do you think it'll be?
It's super beneficial just because it's just you and your teammates. I feel like you bond on a whole new level, and it's all football. You might have to be eating lunch, and the young guy might be asking about different plays and schemes or how you play this play or this technique and stuff like that. So I just feel like you get that little bond before we get to come back here and just make us a better unit up front across the board.
Knowing how Jim Schwartz uses his defensive line, crashing in, does that get you maybe a little bit more excited to get the pads on and to ramp up into training camp, knowing that is waiting for you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's just being a big, powerful guy. When they just tell you to go and explode off the ball, you get to use your weight to your advantage, I guess, at that point, and get to use all your power, and you don't have to just sit there catching blocks. Super excited, and I can't wait for it.
How amped up do you get when you hear a defensive coordinator say he wants his D tackles to be Ferraris, not dump trucks?
Ah man, yeah, you'll never hear that. So super ramped up for it, and like I said, I can't wait to get pads on in training camp, and I'm super excited for this season.
Does it feel to you like it's going to be a big change in systems from what you've been used to, what Jim wants to do up front?
Most definitely, just because I feel like with the systems I've been in, some of them been attack fronts, but it's just a different type of attack defense. And I feel like this one is just the most aggressive as they get. And just as a defensive lineman, to be able to use all your power and explosiveness every single play is like a dream come true.
What's kind of his one overarching message to the D lineman, how he wants you guys to play?
Just play fast. We'll rotate if you get tired, but every play give it 100%, no matter what, and just make sure we're running. We get to the ball, and cardio is going to be a big thing for everybody.
I asked you about the competition between the defense, but yesterday practice ended with some chippiness between the defense and the offense. For you, what does that look like? I mean, how much does that play into your game and getting you excited to see these guys getting chippy out there with each other?
Oh yeah, I feel like that's just the team building process right there, and it just makes you that more excited with football because when we get chippy, and we all competitors out here, and we're going to compete every single play. And I said the competitiveness is going to make us better as a team, and each player better each play.
What have you learned about Obo since you've been around him?
Just how smooth he rushes. It's crazy. Sometimes he'd be rushing and it doesn't seem real. Or it looks like he slows down time in some of his rushes, and yet he's still moving super fast. So it's like just watching his pass rush, I feel like, I know a lot of the stuff I'm not going to be able to do, but I'm going to steal some stuff from his arsenal with his pass rush.
What's it like when you look to your right yesterday and you see Miles, and then on the left you have Za'Darius and then Obo? Like, what can the four of you guys do as a group?
I feel like the sky's the limit with us up in there together, and just throughout the season, I just feel like we're going to be putting up a lot of different schematics together with that front, and it's going to get crazy.
To go off off of that question, I mean, knowing like you guys aren't in pads, you don't have contact. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you get kind of like excited thinking about what's to come over these next couple of months? Like, since we're not seeing the full picture of like what that front can do right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Just because I already know what Zadarius can do on the inside, and just watching Obo and Miles on film, and playing against him over the years and stuff like that. It's just with all of us together and bringing our different skill sets together. I feel like it's gonna. I don't know how to put it into words. It's gonna be amazing.
Off the field, you and Miles have a lot. Seems like a lot in common. Have you guys been able to create that bond, that chemistry yet, or is that still in the works?
Oh, it's still in the works for sure. But yeah, I felt like we all had a whole anime discussion yesterday, and they found out a lot of people watch anime. So it's in the works, and I think we got a couple celebrations coming up too. So keep your eye out for it.
Dalvin, going back to Jim Schwartz and his system and everything, how common is it to find one that's so simplified and straightforward like that? Like, have you played in one like that before, and how common is it today to find?
I don't think I ever found a defense, been a part of a defense this simplified, and especially in the NFL, it's multiple defenses. It'd be a 3-4 or 4-3, but it's multiple defenses. It depends on who you're going to play, and this one's straightforward, just like line up and go play some football.
Another new defensive tackle here, Mo Hurst. I mean, this guy has dealt with injuries throughout his career, but it seems like he's out here every day going as hard as he can. Just what's it been like getting to know him and seeing how he works out here?
Oh yeah, Mo's a great guy and great technician also, and he's one of the guys who's played in the system before, so he brings a lot to the table for us. Just guys who haven't played in it, he always have things we can use to get a little edge and technique and stuff like that. So he's been one of our biggest technicians in this process so far, and Mo is a big part of our D-line so far. All right, thank you.
Hey, Dalvin, I have one.
All right.
Have you ever seen a defensive coordinator kind of put himself right in the middle of the field during drills like Jim Schwartz has done on 7-on-7 and standing by the center and everything?
Oh yeah, I had a few over the years, but Coach Schwartz takes it to a new level. I feel like I feel like sometimes he might be the 12th man on the field.
Yeah, and just what are your early impressions of kind of his impact? And like he said, he wants his presence to be felt. That's kind
Most
of his
definitely.
method behind that.
Yeah, he definitely brings the energy for our defense, and yeah, it's just the attitude he comes in, the energy he brings, it just makes everybody that more amped up to go that much harder each day. All right, thank you.
Sean, how much improvement do you feel you've made, or how much farther ahead are you this time last year from last year?
I'm pretty far ahead of where I was last year. Last year was, as far as football being on the field, just learning a new system, trying to adapt to, different teammates, different players, how guys run routes, how Kevin calls the plays, and just being able to, process the game at the speed I know. And being a year in and being able to talk to Kevin and AVP about what we want to do and being confident about it, it allows me to play a little bit faster when I'm on the field.
We just talked to David Njoku, and he said it seems like every football you throw is just right spot on the money. Just how much fun are you having out there, and how good do you feel?
I feel really good. Like I said before, the biggest thing is just the confidence level. Just knowing who I am, trusting what I do, trusting the work that I put in, these past couple years to get back to this position that I'm in and have the opportunities to go out there and try to, win some games and do it with the guys that we have on the field. So I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun and just keep stacking the days.
Deshaun, you also mentioned the confidence when you talked about the golf outing. Is that something that you always knew would come back to? Had in Houston?
Oh, most definitely, because that's just for anybody. If you stop doing something for so long, you just naturally lose that confidence because you haven't been playing at that level. So you forget, your body and your muscle memory forget how fast and how to do things, but it never loses it. So whenever I got back on the field last year, I was building that confidence up, took a break, came back, tried to build it back up, but having this off season and being full throttle definitely have caught back up with me. So just like I said before, just keep stacking the days.
It looked yesterday you were the talk of the day because you were firing the ball and happy and on target. But it looked to me like the receivers were outstanding yesterday. Do you agree with that?
Of course. I mean, everyone in that locker room, especially the receivers, the skill guys, the tight ends, even the running backs have been locked in. And, it starts with me. It starts with the quarterback room with me, Josh, Kellen, and DT. We got to come up here and lead the guys in the huddle, have that confidence, that energy. And as we do that, then the receivers are going to do that. And they know that everyone can get the ball. It don't matter who's in the game, Amari, Elijah, Mike Harley, anybody. If Till, if he's out there, he's able to get the ball. You got to be full speed, got to know what to do, and be ready to catch the ball when we come. So, it all starts with the quarterback position, and then it trickles down throughout the team.
And Deshaun, go ahead.
You gave AVP goosebumps last week with one of the throws. Have you had a couple of those moments yourself where you're like, okay, that's me?
I guess you could say that. I try not to get too high and not too low. I just try to stay balanced. Of course, I have some excitements with a couple of throws and all that, but at the same time, I'm just training myself, regardless of how good that throw was or how bad it was. I always stay balanced because that's what you're gonna have to do in the game. It's always the next play. So, just getting back to the basis of my mentality of what I was before, and that's what I just continue to do.
How do things stand with DeAndre Hopkins? Do you have any idea if the Browns are pursuing him? And obviously you still want him, but can you update us on that a little bit?
Really, I have no idea. That's more of a AB or Kevin question, but for me, I have no idea where that stands. But like I said last week, of course, we would love to have him, and we'll see how things go.
How receptive to your recruitment pitch was he?
Hop is, me and him has always had that relationship. So, me and him is locked in. That's my brother. I talked to him yesterday because it was his birthday, but nothing about football, just about life and just how he can just, enjoy his day and, more blessings to him.
Hey, Deshaun, I asked you at the golf outing if you're shaking off the rust. After these 2 days, are you more prepared to answer that question?
I am not. We'll figure out week 1 in Cleveland's Brown Stadium against Cincinnati. That's when I can really, after that game, we can see where things are going. But right now it's still October, or not October, still OTAs or minicamp, and still the off season. So we have a long way to go before I can answer that.
You went to the Greenbrier twice with Houston. Other than it's a neat place, what's the benefit of going there? Why did you speak up for it?
Well, I didn't even know that we were going there until I met with Kevin when we came back. But whenever we did, I just knew that, the biggest thing what we did in Houston was it just built that chemistry. And guys got to spend time with each other. But we already doing that here. And we just take it to Greenbrier where it was kind of offsetting, and we spend a little bit more time together, doing activities together, going golfing, bowling. They have different activities there, so it'd be good to kind of get away from Cleveland a little bit and just kind of build that chemistry before we start the season off.
Deshaun, I know we've gotten to see Marquise's vertical speed. Like, when you have a guy like that who can run routes like that, how does it open up your offense as a whole for you in the pass game?
It can be scary. Because the secondary and the defense have to watch out for him. So you have to make sure you get your depth if you're playing defense and keep your eyes on whatever you got, whatever that defense is trying to do. So it kind of opens up other guys underneath, because if that guy runs by and if we can hit those deep shots, that can open up the run game and also the intermediate and short game in the passing game.
Just to go back to Tom's question about you feeling more comfortable or whatever, at that one throw to him in OTAs, that long throw, you did your bow and arrow celebration. I know people were pointing that out on social media. Something like that, just like a sign of you're getting back into it, feeling more comfortable with what you're doing out there?
Definitely. I'm getting comfortable with the position I'm in, getting comfortable being here in Cleveland and in this organization, and just my personality over time is going to continue to show, and people are going to get to know me like I mentioned last year. But, all that time is patience. And, over the days as we continue to work and stack and keep improving, more and more of that stuff will come out.
Deshaun, going off of that, you're talking about comfortability. What areas specifically on the field are you feeling like you're gaining more confidence?
Just the mental game, the mental aspect. And I think last year was just a little bit slow because I was trying to catch up with all the guys whenever I came back, week 13 or 12, whatever it was. And just trying to pick up the speed of the game and just where my eyes and placement, those little things that people don't see and don't realize that kind of go into the reps and the mental game, especially playing a quarterback position. So all that is picking up, and just got to continue to work at it.
Can you estimate how much percentage of the offensive playbook are new plays that they didn't run last year?
What was the first part, Simon?
Estimate how much of the playbook is absolutely new to this year.
Everything's new.
Really?
Everything's new.
Deshaun, how much do you appreciate maybe the versatility and the diversity within the receiver group that the Browns have put together this year during this offseason?
It's awesome. AB and Kevin, AVP, those guys have done a great job of getting all the guys that's in that the receiver room, and they, being able to do everything, playing different positions, playing outside, inside. Everyone can do everything. So you never know going into a game plan or a situation what personnel we have in and what we can do out that personnel grouping. So it's awesome.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit when you said that everything is new? Is it the same playbook with a completely different spin on it? Is it different terminology? How is everything new?
I would just say just the foundation and the structure of the offense is the same, but as we build and continue to get ready for the season, everything else is new. So,
how different do you think it'll look stylistically and schematically when you get to the point?
I'm not sure, because Kevin is always involving him and AVP. They're always working out and watching tape and trying to do different things and how we can scheme different teams and different, defensive schemes. So it's kind of hard to really explain that, but all this stuff gets out on social media, so I can't speak too much on all that.
Does it feel new to you, though? What does it? When you say everything's new, but does it feel new to you?
It's in between. Because I'm still learning. Last year I missed half the year, so some things that I'm still picking up, some things that I already kind of knew from previously what I've learned when I was in Coach O'Brien's in the Houston offense. The NFL is kind of similar in a whole, but at the same time, every offensive coordinator and team do their kind of different schemes in the way they kind of approach it.
Is there a lot of Bill O'Brien stuff now in here?
No, this is all Kevin and AVP.
Your favorite plays haven't come back?
Some probably have, but like I said, this league is a pretty much copycat league in a sense. You kind of learn from the different trees, but kind of same kind of ground. But everything is all Kevin and AVP.
How much of those conversations are you saying, like, hey, I have run this in the past, I really like this set, I really like things like that? Are those conversations still going on?
Yeah, we have those conversations every day. Every time we get in the meeting room, they're asking questions, I'm asking questions. I'm giving, suggestions or making statements. They're doing the same thing. So it's an open room once we get in that room, and that's how, we're going to continue to grow and be able to have success because no one's in that room. AVP or Kevin, who's calling the plays, AVP, who's dealing up the scripts and all that. No one is stubborn. No one is insecure with this is the way we need to do it. Everyone's open to, all right, whatever works is going to work for us, and if we like it, then we're going to run it.
How much more excited are you about it, knowing that it's all really now tailored all to you and it should showcase your strengths?
I'm very excited. It's just a lot more responsibility for myself, but I like the weight on my shoulders, and for me to be able to go out there and show what I got and help me lead this team to a lot of victories. That's where I want to get to. So we have a lot of work to put in this next break, and once we come back on the 19th, we got to be ready, locked and loaded, and show what we got.
Deshaun,
last one here.
There's obviously still 2 civil suits outstanding. During this time between now and camp, is there anything you need to do as far as those are concerned? Have you been deposed? Will you be deposed? Do you have any update on that?
No update. That's all my legal team and my counsel team with the NFL. All I need to do is just focus on my job, and that's just being locked in on who Deshaun Watson is and getting ready for a report date on July 19th.
But do you have to go to, there's supposed to be a trial. Do you think that, will that be able to happen between now and training camp? Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea. That's a Rusty Harding question, so I'm not even sure.
Is it bothersome that hasn't all been resolved by now?
All I can do is control what I can control and just focus on what I can, and that's football right now.
Deshaun, I know
Last one.
You know, for those TikToks that get like Browns Twitter talking and stuff like that. Do you have any more in mind to give out?
I definitely want to be a little bit more active on social media, especially TikTok. So we definitely going to work into it whenever we can. Of course, football is the main focus, but as time goes on, another way of showing my personality and who I am for the fans, and I think the fans like that, so I'm going to continue to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deshaun. Have a good offseason.
Thanks.